Hello. Welcome everyone to Module 3. The theme is Plagiarism of Illustrations, Evaluation, Detection, and Removal. So, let's get started. In this lesson, firstly I will explain what is plagiarism of illustrations. Thereafter, I will elaborate how to detect plagiarism of illustrations. And finally, I will describe how to remove plagiarism of illustrations. In order to remove illustrations plagiarism, you have to remember a unique mnemonic, that is, chances provide chances. This rule will be very much helpful for you in removing illustrations plagiarism. I will explain in details about this rule. So, stay tuned. The point of discussion is, what is plagiarism of illustrations? What do you think about this? Let me give you a proper overview of this. Illustrations plagiarism is defined as unauthorized use of others' illustrations. This means incorporating others' illustrations in own paper, without proper permission and proper acknowledgement. Illustrations may be any graphs, charts, tables, photographs, drawings, infographics, graphical structures, micrographs, logos, cartoons, visuals, arts, or maps, etc. Students often use others' illustrations without permission. That's the actual problem giving rise to plagiarism. Let's see what are included in illustrations plagiarism. The first one is using others' illustrations into own works without permission and acknowledgement. The plagiarist incorporates others' illustrations into own works without any type of formal permission, and don't provide any credit to the source. Using others' material without crediting them is unfair. Next one is using transformed version of others' illustrations without proper permission and acknowledgement. Sometimes, plagiarists modify the original illustrations in terms of color grading, alignment, clarity, etc. without any permission. As a result, such work falls under plagiarism. Whenever you modify anything in original illustrations, you need necessary permission. Without permission, if you transform the original illustrations, it comes under plagiarism. Next one is using others' text by converting it into illustrations by thinking that a single illustration speaks millions of words. Mostly clever plagiarists take this non-text approach to represent their ideas. But sometimes, they fails to put text into illustrations in proper ways. As a result, this leads to plagiarism. Whenever you are converting text ideas into illustrations, properly credit the source. Next one is fails to provide sufficient acknowledgement for used illustrations. Most of the time, plagiarists don't provide necessary credit to the source illustrations. This is a wrong way of approach. Incorporating others' illustrations and don't acknowledging is a means of plagiarism. Next one is using orphan works without proper permission. What do you think about orphan work? Materials of unknown origin, or where copyright holders cannot be located, is called as orphan work. If the source is unknown, and you are including such materials in your work, then you are taking full of risk. If you are using such work without proper permission, then it comes under plagiarism. I will explain you how we'll get permission for such work in later section. So, don't worry. These are the different scenario of illustrations plagiarism. In order to avoid illustrations plagiarism, you have to take necessary permission as well as acknowledge properly. So, whenever you are using illustrations in your research paper, or thesis, or dissertation, or project, be sure that your illustrations must be free of plagiarism. Let's discuss what not comes under illustrations plagiarism. You have to know this in order to stay away from plagiarism. The first one, which is not comes under illustrations plagiarism, is own illustrations. Own illustrations may be your experimental results or illustrations created by own, but it must not be adapted. Own illustrations must not be a derivative of others' work. The second one is public domain illustrations without any copyright. Many of the public domain illustrations are non-copyrighted illustrations and are intended for free use. You can freely use non-copyrighted public domain work. No permission is required for this type of illustrations. But remember that every public domain material is not a non-copyrighted work. Some public domain work are also copyright protected. In such cases, you have to be careful about permission and acknowledgement. Now, move towards the detection methods of illustrations plagiarism. To check plagiarism of illustrations, you must employ online detection method. It's because, in manual detection you cannot detect illustrations plagiarism. But the surprising fact is that, till date, no plagiarism software has been developed to check plagiarism of illustrations. So, how could you check your illustrations is plagiarized or not? To overcome this problem, Illustrations Lookup Tools helps you to find the copyright-protected illustrations, which helps you to take necessary permission, and also helps you to avoid plagiarism. So, what is Illustrations Lookup Tools? The Illustrations Lookup Tools are reverse image search engine. As from its name, these are the search engine, which look up the images in reverse way. It means, by taking illustrations from users, it searches for any similar illustrations. The methods followed by reverse image search engine is reverse image search, which is also called as reverse image lookup. How this engine works? You have to upload your images to check that the uploaded images are subjected to copyright or not. Means in a reverse way, that is from user to search engine. The algorithms followed by reverse image search engine tools are pattern recognition, fingerprint analysis, artificial intelligence, and computer vision. Some engine may include machine learning and advanced algorithms also. These are the widely used algorithms by reverse image search engine tools to find the illustrations. Wide variety of reverse image search engine tools are available in the Scholar market. Some popular reverse image search engine tools are Google Image Search, Yandex Image Search, Bing Image Search, and Tinai. These 4 reverse image search engine tools are free to use, and are most authenticate, because they don't save your data. You can read their privacy policy also. Apart from this, Yahoo Image Search are also available. You can use these tools for image search. I have attached a list of database in the description, where you can search for illustrations to check whether your illustrations are copyright protected, or not. Let's discuss the strategies to remove plagiarism. I have developed a unique mnemonic that is, chances provide chances. You have to remember this mnemonic to remove illustrations plagiarism. Imagine this mnemonic as a triangle, where the first letter of each word represents the 3 corners of triangle. This mnemonic is also called as CPC rule, or triangular strategy. The first C represents copyright. P represents permission, and last C represents citation. First you have to check for any copyright. Means, the illustrations that you want to incorporate in your work is copyright protected or not. Then you have to obtain necessary permission for copyright protected illustrations. Thereafter, you have to credit the source. Means, you have to properly acknowledge the source to avoid plagiarism. Let's learn how to check plagiarism of illustrations. Here, I have taken an illustration from Springer Nature Journal. This illustration is for demonstration purpose only. This illustration represents the relation between 4 fundamental circuit elements. You can see here the original article, from where this illustration is taken. Here, I display the original article, that's why you know that the illustration belongs to this article. But, when your instructor checks, then how do they confirm about this? The answer is that they will verify your source by some sorts of detection procedure. So, how they can detect the illustrations? Let's see. Now, we are employing online detection of illustrations through Google Image Search. In order to check, click on the Search by Image button, it will open the search panel. Here, you can see 2 options. The first one is, Paste Image by URL. If you stored your illustrations in any cloud storage, then you can simply paste the link of the illustrations to search. Google Image Search will be automatically retrieve your contents, and search for possible matches. Another one is, Upload by Image. If your illustrations is stored on local storage, then you can simply browse and upload the image. The Google Image Search will automatically search for possible matches. I have stored this illustration in local storage. So, we will upload the image. Now, click on the Browse button and select the file from its storage location. You can see here, I have saved the file name as fig1jpg. Then click on Open button. The uploading will take few seconds. After processing, you can see here, the Google Image Search reflects the possible matches. In the search bar, first it will show the uploaded file name. Then side to the file name, it will show the possible identity. The possible identity is the predictive phrase generated by the algorithm as per the uploaded content. Also this shows the size of the uploaded file. Here, you can see only a single file size. But sometimes, it shows the different available file size, if the search engine found any other file size. Scroll down below, you can see a section containing visually similar images. These are the possible match illustrations that found by the search engine. In addition to visually similar images, the reverse image search engine display the possible match pages. Actually, just like text plagiarism software don't check plagiarism, instead they check text similarity. The reverse image search engine don't check plagiarism, instead they check visual similarity. This does not represent your illustration is plagiarized. Instead this tells that your illustrations are subjected to copyright or not. Click on any visually similar image. Suppose, I am clicking this image. It will open the in detail side image view. Here, you can see, it has been written that, the images may be subjected to copyright. First you have to confirm that, the illustration is a copyright protected illustration, or not. Here, it is a copyright protected illustration. That means, if we are incorporate this illustration in our paper, then we need proper permission to use this, and we have to properly acknowledge the source. After confirmation of copyright, you have to find the original source of illustration. Then click on Visit button. It will open the respective page. You can see here, the Gale on A file is a repository database. Here, you can see the title, author details, and publisher details. Now, let's check its authenticity. Then go to Google and search for title and author. It will open the respective search results. You can see here the title, author, and publication year. Now click on first link, it will open the respective page. You can see here the original article. Scroll down below. Under figure section, you can see the illustration. So, we found the original illustration. Sometimes, your search process may be long. It's because, always you cannot find the original source with a single click. You have to search multiple similar images to find the original one. Sometimes, you have to check the references of other papers to find the original one. I suggest you to do a multiple search, as a result you will confirm the original source. Also, take the help of multiple reverse image search engine. It will provide you a better result to find the original source. After finding the original source, the question is that, who give you the permission to use the source illustrations? Let's see. There are some situations, you have to understand the permission. If the original illustrations belongs to authors, owners, or creators, then you have to require written permission from sole authors, or owners, or creators to use their materials. You can ask for permission by email, or a written request. But remember that, the sole originator must physically, or digitally sign your approval. Because you need the legal stand to avoid any misunderstanding. Also, you have to acknowledge the originator. Then the next case, if the original illustration belongs to originator, and published in their own website, or personal homepage, or own blog, then you have to require written permission from sole originator. Because they are the copyright holders of their materials. In this case also, you have to acknowledge the originator. Next case, if the original illustration belongs to the originator, but published in any other website, or social sites, or any government site, then you have to require written permission from sole originators, and credit them along with the published site. It's because, in this situation, the originator hold the full copyright, but the permission is divided. Let me give you an example. Suppose, you took part in any competition, let's say art competition. You submit your art to the competition. After your submission, suppose your artwork is selected, and the competition host publicly announce your art, and published in their website for digitization. What you understand here? Your material belongs to you, but the publisher is not you. The publisher is your competition host. As a result, you hold full copyright of your illustration, but the permission is divided between you and the publisher. So, in such case, if someone use your material, then the user must acknowledge you, as you are the creator, and form where it belongs, that is the publisher. Now come to next case, if the original illustration belongs to originator, but published in any academic journals, or books, then you have to require permission from publishers through Copyright Clearance Center. If the publisher is not associated with Copyright Clearance Center, then you have to require written permission from both sole originator, and the publisher. If there is multiple author, then you have to contact the corresponding author. The corresponding author will arrange necessary permission from their core author. You have to take careful decision about the permission. Our subject of interest is academic viewpoint. So, the last point apply here. I have attached a sample permission request letter, you can see from the description. Let's see how you can get permission from Copyright Clearance Center. This is the official website of Copyright Clearance Center. You have to create an account before requesting for any type of permission. I suggest you to create an individual account so that you can track all of your record in one place. Now the question is that, how to get permission for reusing the illustrations? There are two ways you could avail permission from Copyright Clearance Center. In the direct approach, click on the Get Permission tab, it will open the Copyright Marketplace. Here, you have to search the article title or author name or keywords, etc., for which you need permission. For accurate search, select your preference. As we need permission from a journal article, here I am choosing Article or Chapter option. Then, you have to enter the title of the article. This is a required article, and you can see that the title is The Missing Memristor Found. Go to the search area of Copyright Marketplace and enter this title. Then, hit the search. You can see here, lots of search results matching this title. You have to find out the required one. Here, the second result is a required article. Carefully check the article title, authors, publisher details, URL, and digital object identifier. For permission, you can proceed by clicking the Request Permission button. This is a kind of direct approach. Coming to the indirect approach, you have to get permission from the publishers. Most of the publishers include rights and permission for each published articles. Just find that in the article page. Scrolling down below, you can see here, Right and Permission section. This will allow you to take necessary permission from Copyright Clearance Center. This is the indirect approach to get permission. Now, click on Reprints and Permission. It will open the Copyright Rights link of Copyright Clearance Center. Rights Link is an advanced open access agreement management solution, which helps you to get necessary permission for reuse of others' material through Copyright Clearance Center. Here, you can see my account name, as I have already logged in. Remember that, whenever you request permission from Copyright Clearance Center, you must have logged into your account. It's because, whenever the license will be issued by the Copyright Center, it will be issued to you only. You cannot use permission, which is issued to others. In the above, you can see the copyright details of publisher, including article details. As I told you before, most of the academic publishers are partner with Copyright Clearance Center to provide a transparent permission service. Springer Nature is also a part of them. In the Make a Selection section, you have to choose your reason of reuse. For which reason you want the permission. Let's see, what are the available options? As you can see, a wide variety of options are available. You have to choose your required one. You can reuse the original material in your project, presentation, website, conference proceeding, book, journal, news, dissertation, thesis, classroom materials, photocopy or annual report, etc. Suppose, let's say, I want to use that particular illustration in my dissertation. So, here I am choosing, Reuse in a Dissertation or Thesis option. Upon clicking, it will open the price estimation window. Here, the Copyright Clearance Center estimate your price as per your requirement. The price may vary from 0 to any amount. It depends upon your reuse criteria. Let's see our estimation. In the I would like to section, we have already select for reuse in a dissertation or thesis. Then come to I am section. Here, you have to select your belonging. Means, from where you are locating. As we are going to reuse this in the dissertation, we are associated with academic institution. So, here I am choosing, academic or university. In My Format section, you have to choose your required format. It means, in what format you want to reuse the specified material. My dissertation will be in both print, as well as in electronic format. So, here I am choosing, print and electronic. You have to choose the right one as per your requirements. Then comes to, I would like to use section. Here, you have to choose, which portion do you want to reuse from the original source. Our point of interest is reuse of figure. So, I am choosing, figures, or tables, or illustrations, option. Depending upon the type of materials you need from original source, you have to choose the right option. Moving to the number of figures or tables section, you have to enter how many figures or how many tables you want to reuse in your work. Here, I only need a single figure. So, I am entering the number as 1. This number can vary from 1 to 1000, means you can enter a number between this ranges depending upon your reuse and availability in the original source. In high resolution section, you have to choose yes or no. It designates that, do you need high quality figure or not? I am choosing no, as I don't need any high quality figure for my dissertation. Then comes to circulation and distribution section. Here, you have to choose your number of circulation. Means, what is your size of submission target? For dissertation, the submission target will be 5 to 6. This circulation will come under the range 1 to 29. So, I am choosing this. As the dissertation will be submitted to supervisor, co-supervisor, advisor, and head of the department. And they will finally submit to institutional repository after final approval. So, for dissertation, the circulation is limited to this range. Coming to next section, are you the author of this content? I am choosing no. It's because I am not the author of this content. In this section, you can see if you are a part of the content, then for reuse, you still need permission. If you are not doing this, it will comes under self-plagiarism. Then moving to I will be translating section, here you have select your requirement of translation. If you wants to translate the original materials into some other language, then you have to click on yes. Otherwise, option no will be preferred. I don't want to translate the original material, so I am choosing no. Then choose your currency. I wants to remains in dollar, as my currency is not listed here. Thereafter, click on quick price to check the billed amount. You can see here, our billed amount is $0. So, we don't have to pay any amount to reuse this figure. But, sometimes it may bill to any amount depending upon your preference. You can see here, the Copyright Clearance Center allow me to modify the figure along with the reuse. Remember that, whenever you modify the original figure, you must preserve its original meaning. Otherwise, it will comes under plagiarism. Then click on Continue button to proceed further. Moving further, it will open the About Your Work panel. Here, you have to enter your complete work details. Our purpose of permission is to reuse of illustration in the dissertation. So, in title section, you have to enter the title of your dissertation. Suppose, here I am writing the dissertation title as Quantum Memristor in Optical Fields. Then in place of institution name, write the name of your institution. Here, I am entering my institution name as Gangadhar Mehar University. Thereafter, you have to enter the expected presentation date. It means, when you will expect to submit the dissertation in your institution. Suppose, here I am selecting the month as May of 2022. Then, click on Continue button to proceed further. Upon continuing, it will open the additional information section. Order reference number is a unique purchase number that will show in your invoice. This is not required. So, left it as blank. Next, you have to enter the exact description of your illustration. You have to enter the figure number along with the page number, where it located in the original article. Let's check, what is the figure number in original article? You can see here, our required figure is figure 1. As I show you before, it is located in page 1. So, here I am writing it as figure 1, image on page 1. You need to check the original source carefully before entering to this portion. Now, click on Continue button to proceed further. Upon continuing, it will show you the review section, where you can check your order details. Here, you can see the licensed content. This section shows the details about the original source. In order details, it shows your requirements for which you need permission. About Your Work section shows where you want to reuse the original content. And additional data shows the exact details of original source, which will be reused in your work. Scrolling down, it will show your details as requester, thereafter total price, and tax details, if there any. After reviewing your order, you have to agree the terms and conditions, and also agree for license. Then click on Accept button to confirm your order. Upon order confirmation, you can see the license number and license date. Also, it shows the agreement between you and the journal. You can print your license details also. Remember that, you have to attach this license in your final work, while submitting. So, finally you know how to get the license and permission for reuse through Copyright Clearance Center. Now, the most important thing is crediting the source. Before going to acknowledge, you have to extract certain information from your license agreement. The first important information is the agreement. The agreement is done between you and the source. Here, the license is between me and the Springer Nature. Then, you have to know your licensor. Here, the licensor is Springer Nature Customer Service Center. The licensee are Springer Nature and Copyright Clearance Center. Here, the requester is me. These information is needed while acknowledging. Then comes to the duration of license. You have to know the validity of your license. You can see here, for posting on website and presentation, the license is valid for 12 months only. After expire of validity, you have to renew your license. But for books and journal, the validity of license is for lifetime. Dissertation and thesis comes under this books and journal category. If you read the complete license agreement, then you can come across this information. Another thing you have to remember that, if the edition of book is changed, then you require a new license. Also, you have to purchase a new license, if your work is translated to any other language. So, you have to remember these things to avoid any instances of plagiarism. Let's learn how you could acknowledge properly so as to avoid plagiarism. As like using others' text material, we provide both in-text citation as well as references for acknowledgement. Just like this, whenever you reuse others' illustration, you have to provide caption as well as references for acknowledgement. I don't tell you more about references here. You can use any referencing style, whatever it may be, APA, or any style depending upon your area. Here, I will give more emphasis on caption. Let's see how you can give the credit on caption. This is the original illustration. As you can see, the figure caption is also same to the original source. We already acquire necessary permission and license for reusing this figure in our dissertation. So, let's see how we could reuse this figure in our work. Suppose, I wants to use the same picture without any modification. Then, I can reuse it like this. Suppose, my figure number is 6 in the dissertation. After figure number, write the figure title as per your convenience. Then, you have to use the phrase, reprinted by permission from, while you are reusing the exact illustration from the original source. Thereafter, name of the publisher along with full citation. You have to follow the proper format. Suppose, I wants to redraw the original illustration. For this, remember that, while you are redrawing the original source, you have to preserve its original meaning. Basically, when you will redrawing, you are adapting the original source. In this case, the caption will be like this. You have to use the phrase, adapted by permission from. Thereafter, name of the publisher along with full citation. So, carefully provide the credit to the original source. Then discuss a little bit about some important points which you should remember to avoid plagiarism in case of illustrations. In order to avoid plagiarism, you have to allow plenty of time to yourself for copyright clearance. By following this, you will check for copyright protected illustrations and request necessary permission for reuse of others' material. For reuse of orphan work, you have to apply for a non-exclusive license. You can apply for this license under a single condition only. And the condition is that, you have done a diligent search for the right holders. Means, you search for the copyright holder, but did not found in any source. For non-exclusive license, you may reach the Intellectual Property Office. They will verify the orphan work, and provide you to reuse with necessary permission. The license they will grant will be under missing owner. Always review the original source link to locate the original copyright holders. Lastly, always credit the source. By following this, you could better avoid the plagiarism. This is all about illustrations plagiarism. Now, let's test your learning by appearing the quizzes. You will get 10 seconds for answering each questions. Let's begin. The first question, which of the following is considered as illustrations plagiarism? The options are, 1. Using others' text without attribution. 2. Using others' figure without attribution. 3. Using others' program without attribution. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 2. Next question. What are open illustrations? The options are 1. Copyright illustrations, 2. Non-copyright illustrations, 3. Public domain illustrations, 4. Non-copyrighted public domain illustrations. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 4 is correct. Open illustrations are free to use without any restriction. Now your homework is on the way. Do it as your own. The first assignment is, do you find CPC rule is useful for you or not? Comment below. The second one is, check the global illustrations plagiarism statistics. Does it increase or decrease with respect to text plagiarism statistics? Comment below. Thank you very much for concentrating in the entire lecture. Hope you enhance your knowledge and learning.